This is Dr. David Klein with Stages of Life Medical Institute in Longwood, Florida. And we're going to do a little ditty right now with regards to what we can do for the next time that this happens. And rest assured, there is going to be a next time. It'll probably be this fall. There will be parts of the country that are going to be in trouble. There'll be other parts, again, that will not be in trouble. So the real approach here is to over-prepare and then go with the flow. Over-prepare means what? It means get everything lined up for an appropriate event, likely or unlikely, and then allow things to roll. So here in Florida, we have regular national disasters. Okay, this happens every season. They call them hurricanes. We have lots and lots of tornadoes. And they're not as bad as the ones in the Midwest. But we just get more of them. Okay, so it's not uncommon for somebody to watch their barn disappear, but their house doesn't do too badly. And that's what happened to me. We had a tornado that passed between my garage and my house. Now, that was no F5. I got to promise you that because it would have taken out the block. But it did take out my orchid barn, and it took out a bunch of fences. It was fascinating to watch this. Trees were twisted and uprooted, but my daffodils or whatever remained where they were. Over-prepare. So here in Florida, we know that we may go 2, 3, or 4 weeks without power. So in the office here, I'm going ahead and I'm putting solar power in. Why? Because should this happen, I still need to treat my patients. We still need to be able to get to them. They need to be able to get to us. We relied on power last year, and we were out for 3 weeks. This presented a problem for us, so we're not going to allow that again. $400,000 later, we will be independent, so guess what? That might be over-preparing, and we will, in fact, go with the flow. But what can you do? What I'm going to recommend is this. You're going to sit back and go, well, they told us to have at least 3 weeks worth of food. That's the smallest part of what's going on. That's something that you can do anytime at all. You can go out and buy a case of spaghetti, a case of rice, and a case of tomato paste or sauce, and you're good for that month. You can do it. That's easy. The place where you get into trouble are the little things, the things that you might not consider. Here at Stages, back in January, I saw this thing coming. So I went out and bought cases of syringes, cases of needles, cases of bandages, and cases of tape. Why did I do that? Because it allowed us to become independent of the medical distributors. I went through the place here and found things that were made in China, which, by the way, was just about everything. So we bought extra antibiotics, extra anti-inflammatories, anti-diabetic medications, all of this just in case the sources in China were taken offline. And they were. We bought cases of pens, paper, things for the administrative side, because they're all made in China, or largely made so. At the house, I told my wife, this is what we're going to do. And I was basically branded as being crazy. But things that were made abroad, we went and bought. Things that would be necessary in the event of an emergency. Ziploc bags, saran wrap. Why would you do that? Because with saran wrap and Ziploc bags, you can prepare food and keep it for a long time. Freezers, we have 4 freezers at the house. Why? Because we have a bunch of hangers-on called kids, and they will end up at our house at one point or another when they run out of theirs. It's the old grasshopper and the ants approach to this. This is what you need to be looking at. I went ahead and bought bottle after bottle after bottle of isopropyl alcohol and bleach. Why? Because these are necessary to sterilize the things around you in the event that you run out of laundry detergent, which is something that can happen. So my advice to you is to go ahead, use this as a learning event. Write everything down right now that you're using. Continue to jot it down. And then when this is all over and there's supplies to be had at a reasonable price, you go out and you buy the stuff and leave it in large Tupperware bins. If you live in New York and you don't have any space, now that really sucks. Most everybody else, you have an attic that you can use. You can have a basement where you can put this stuff. These are the sorts of things you're going to want to do. Wash towels, different colored wash towels. Looking at what it takes to keep away a kid with a runny nose from you, you give them their own face towel with its own color. That way they know which one's theirs and which one is yours. Very, very important. So over-prepare. Keep a log of what you're using, what you would like to have done. Gee, it would have been nice to have had some toilet paper. No kidding. But it would have been nicer, okay, to actually have had frozen foods, to have the appropriate canned foods, and to have those sorts of things that you can do to keep yourself self-reliant. So they say, Southern boy will always survive. Well, that's not always true. We have a lot of losers here too. But they tend to learn how to prepare things with minimal effort and with minimal expense. This is Dr. David Klein, Stages of Life Medical Institute, Longwood, Florida, and I hope that I will push you in the right direction to do the right thing. Thank you.